As a dyslexic myself, I started creating a more and more dyslexic-friendly environment that suited my strengths. And that changed my whole experience, and it's changed the way I thought about myself. And that is all due to a concept within neurodiversity called niche construction. And I'm going to start explaining that by looking at horses and camels. In the animal kingdom, we see all sorts of extreme environments. And one of these extreme environments is, for example, the desert. And you see some animals, like these guys, that do pretty well. You know, they seem pretty happy, pretty content. And you have other animals in a similar dry environment, and they don't seem that happy. Well, here we learn that the combination of an individual, of an animal in this case, and its environment plays a big role in how they thrive or how they are kind of miserable. When we look at these camels, you notice or you see that, you know, there is a good match. You have the environment and you have the adaptations of the animal. And it fits good together. If we then look at the dyslexic in school, where you have to do with a lot of books, with a lot of reading, with a lot of writing, you see that it's not that good of a match. It's more like that horse that we've seen before. So we're back to the concept of neurodiversity now. And within this concept, we see the topic of niche construction. And this topic addresses this issue and looks at what is the best environment for dyslexics and why is that so important. It is so important because a person by him or herself is rarely disabled. It's always the combination between the environment and the individual. So if you stick a dyslexic in a library and you tell him you're not allowed to leave till you have read all these books, then he might be disabled. If you put an ADHD kid into a classroom and you tell him you're not supposed to move for the next 5 hours, then that will be a serious disabling situation for this kid. If a person in a wheelchair is in front of a bunch of stairs, then this person will be disabled. But if we free these barriers and we create an environment where that is not the case, then these experiences of disability will not longer exist. For a dyslexic child, it could be enough that he will be able to access the documents as a PDF and just highlight the text and let the text be read to him by a computer. It's one solution. So if we look even deeper into this, then we can see that what is very important is that we are aware of the demands that we have of people. So you have certain demands, and these demands form a sort of frame. And we want people to fill with their potential the demandments. But what ends up happening is, for a lot of people, I would argue, is that the demands do not match up with their potential. So their potential is all over the place, but it's not within this frame that we demand of these people. So if we can either see, so how can we look for a frame that corresponds very well with our own potential, or what we could do is, as teachers, is like, okay, How can I widen this frame? How can I see more of the pupil so that I also can have a more positive picture of the pupil or the student? What I would like to add are a few words on intelligence. So when we look at intelligence and how it's defined, we see that you have certain measurements. So you have certain areas that are focused or that are in focus, and they define what intelligent at the end ends up being. So if you have an intelligence test and it's all directed towards reading and writing and maths, then you will miss out on a lot of other things. But those that are measured by this test will feel like they're stupid. But it depends very much on what exactly is measured and what your talents are. So the question, do these two line up? Do the requirements and your talents line up, or do you have a mismatch? So that's very important to keep in mind. If we want to line up the abilities and the environment of a dyslexic and create a good match, we will have to look at the abilities of dyslexics. And there has been some research on that. And there they state that dyslexics often are good three-dimensional thinkers. In addition, they are also very creative. So what ends up happening is that they're, for example, good filmmakers, also architects. And another area where they excel is entrepreneurship. So we need to find this match, and we need to look at these strengths of these dyslexics way more. And neurodiversity starts doing that. It starts to look at these advantages and these abilities of people. And by doing so, we can start to make better and better decisions when it comes to lining these two up so that we have environments where people can thrive.